Hello, I'm Bryan Hutcheson, Sheriff of Rockingham County and the City of Harrisonburg, and thank you for joining me for the Rocktown Crime Report on RocktownNow.com. Today's Friday, July the 26th, and in today's segment, we're going to take a look at some arrest numbers, we're going to take a look at some inmate numbers, as well as touching on a question of the week that we have for you, and also touching on some community events that are even going on right now that we want to just pass a plug in for because it's great stuff going on. So we got a lot to cover today. Let's jump right into it. On this graphic here, the first one we're going to put up, you can kind of see what we did here is a 4-week arrest number breakdown by the day of the week. And so these are all arrests. Anyone that's arrested within the geographical boundaries of Rockingham County are brought to our facility, and these are the numbers by the day of the week that were brought in for the past, looking at the past 4 weeks. And a couple interesting things you can see when you look at it that way, you can kind of see for yourself here, but the two I was going to point out, if you look at Thursday, June the 27th, there were 20 arrests, which is kind of on the high end for us. A week later, on Thursday, July the 4th, which was even a holiday, kind of like a weekend day really, but there were only 8. So a significant difference, same day of the week, but 1 week later. Likewise, if you look down to the following 2 weeks there, look at Tuesday, July the 9th, there were only 7 arrests here locally. A week later, Tuesday, July the 16th, there were 20. So a significant, almost tripled, a significant difference, same day of the week, 1 week later. So kind of an interesting way to look at it in that respect. If you look at the total numbers, they average out to 95 per week, right about 95. You had 95 1 week, 97, 87, and 98. So really for the 4-week period as a whole, pretty consistent. But if you look at the day of the week, week to week, sometimes there is a pretty significant variance between those numbers, which is kind of interesting to see when you look at it that way. And the next thing we wanted to do is take a look at this graphic that we're going to put up. And this is the overall number of folks, the number of inmates, total inmate numbers. And we did this over a 4-month arrest number breakdown. You can kind of see going back to March 22nd of this year, we had 307 inmates here, 191 inmates at Middle River for a total of 498. And then 4 months later, pretty much to the day, fast forward 4 months from spring to summer, on July 22nd, we had 301 inmates here, and we had 215 inmates at Middle River for a total of 516. So over that 4-month gap, not quite a difference of 20, a little bit less than 20 there that you see. So a little bit up over that period, not great, not a huge difference, but I think it is something in looking at it this way, since we're looking spring and summer, we'll probably look at this in another 3 or 4 months in the fall and see, does that trend, does it continue to go up a little bit, or does it level out, or hopefully even go down? But those are the total number of inmates responsibly that we have here locally. So we'll check back on that one, but wanted to do a quick look at it today. Next up, we have our question of the week. This question of the week is one that we kind of came up, what was really brought to, I don't say we came up with it ourselves, but it was kind of brought to us that we've had a couple instances recently where people called in and had either issues or questions or problems about this topic. So we figured we would make it the question of the week just to kind of cover some of these points that we're going to get into. Basically, that question is it legal to fly drones over other people's property? So let's take a look at it. Great question, and again, something that has been a very an issue that's very relevant what's going on today. So let's take a look at this first graphic we're going to put up for you. And here's some of the basic rules for the drones, things that you must do before you can fly the drone. One of the key points is all drones that weigh over 0.55 pounds must be registered by the FAA through their website. If once that number is assigned, it must be displayed. You can kind of see another key point is on there, number 2. The owner has to determine if they're flying for recreational or commercial use. That's a key point of distinction with these drones. If it's for recreational purposes, meaning just for your own personal enjoyment, they are required to obtain the license prior to using it, but that's pretty much it. But now where the distinction comes in is for commercial. Even if you're, like you see below there, even if you're flying it to help out a high school or a nonprofit, a church, or other group, and they're not paying you, it's still considered commercial, because it's for purposes other than just yourself. If it's to benefit anyone other than your own singular enjoyment, then it can fall into that commercial usage, which means you have to have the Part 107 commercial drone pilot license to conduct those operations. So that's another key point. You can look at the FAA website to kind of see more information about this. That's a very, very quick overview, but the two key points is the size of the drone and then the purpose of its use. Now, let's take a look at some of the relevant laws. We pulled a few that apply here in the Code of Virginia. If you can look at this one, 18.2, 121.3, trespassing with an unmanned aircraft system. You can kind of see this intentionally causes an unmanned aircraft system, aka a drone, to enter the property of another and come within 50 feet of a dwelling house after having been given notice to desist for any other reason, so forth and so on. That is considered a Class 1 misdemeanor, the trespassing. Look at this next one we'll put on here for you, 18.2, 130.1, peeping or spying into a dwelling or occupied building by an electronic or unmanned aircraft drone. It's unlawful for Section B there, it's unlawful for any person to knowingly, intentionally cause that aircraft system to peep through a window, door, or other aperture into any building that's occupied or intended for occupancy, whether or not it is occupied, to violate their reasonable expectation of privacy is the key there. That's also a Class 1 misdemeanor. And also another law we found that might be we felt would be worth touching on is 18.2, 324.2. You can see here, unlawful for a respondent of a protective order to knowingly, intentionally use or cause, operate an unmanned aircraft system to contact, capture images of the petitioner of the protective order, any other individual named in the protective order, and that is also a Class 1 misdemeanor. So that's a quick overview of a complicated topic, but it has been something that's kind of come to our on our radar here recently, if you will, because it's been a relevant topic. So we wanted to at least touch on some of those key points. If you have more questions or again concerns that we can help you with, we'd be glad to do it. But that's a quick overview of some of the things with those drones that I guess are becoming more and more popular these days. So we'll see more of it, but hopefully covered a few of the key points there for you there. What we want to do next, we're going to put up this here talking about this graphic talking about our upcoming schedule. With all that's going on in the summertime, it's a very, very busy time of year. We got a lot going on, so we're going to kind of modify our schedule. We normally do this every Friday, but as you can see after today's segment, we won't have a segment next Friday. On Friday, August the 9th, we're going to do a segment, special kind of a preview segment for the Rockingham County Fair. We got already have a few topics we want to talk about for that one, so we're going to do a segment kind of focusing on that big event coming up then. And then, of course, Friday the 16th will be the fair. It'll be going on, so we won't have a segment that night. That's Demo Derby night, I might add. But no segment on the 16th. And then on Friday, August the 3rd, we'll be back with a segment looking at some more somber numbers, which will be 4 weeks from today, actually. So we'll have some more numbers, kind of look at in the way we just did, and see if those trends either, again, get better or worse or whatever that might be. We'll look at some more summer numbers 4 weeks from now in that segment. So if you do have a question, hopefully that was a decent question we touched on today, but if you have one, you can email that in to the newsroom at rocktownnow.com, and we'll try to get you in on one of these future segments. Again, we're kind of modifying our schedule because it's a busy time of year. But another quick plug I wanted to throw in for you, Tuesday, August the 6th is National Night Out. So a lot of great events going on. I know the Sheriff's Office, we will be participating events in the city of Harrisonburg, as well as Broadway, Timberville, Massanutten, Bridgewater. I hope I'm not forgetting any, but I know we're participating in those and maybe some others, but there's a lot of great ones going on. So kind of circle that date on your calendar, Tuesday, August the 6th, National Night Out, great event. We'll be out and about and hope to see you maybe at one of those events in our locality. Also tonight is the McGaheysville Parade. We'll be out at that here actually in just a little bit. Won't be long. I think that starts at 7 tonight, so we'll be out there. Also, Folks Run Lawn Party is going on. A bunch of other good lawn parties are coming up after that, so we're in the peak season. Again, a lot going on. Get out, enjoy it, get out in the community, and have some fun, have some great food and good time. So a lot to do. But thank you for joining us for this segment of the Rocktown Crime Report, and we'll see you next time.